Welcome to Data Security Module 6, Section 1. My name is Pat Cupoli. I'm the Certificate Mentor at Edmonds Community College, PACET IT Data Management Program. In this section, you will be introduced to activities and concepts associated with the core principles and guidelines for managing data security. We will look at basic definitions, key concepts, key activities, area of studies, and primary takeaways. An organization's internal security needs comes from various principles and needs for access control. They are the following three. Identification, which is the verification of the identity of the person who claims to be that person. Authentication, which signifies that the data, documents, or transactions are validated to be genuine. Also, it is important to validate that both the sender and receiver involved are who they say they are. And last, authorization, which is the identification of who should be granted the right privileges to access various views of data. Integrity maintains the accuracy and consistency of data in that the data cannot be modified in an unauthorized or undetected manner. Risks are the likelihood that something bad will happen to the data or information asset. Vulnerabilities, which are weaknesses, and threats which have the potential to cause harm, are examined. An audit is a way to assess risks during the review of security actions and user activities. Security classifications for data and information are important in recognizing the value of information and defining the appropriate protection procedures. Factors should be taken into account, such as how valuable the information is to the organization and whether the information is current or obsolete. Laws and regulations may have considerations when classifying data. These are some of the core principles and guideline activities described in the DAMA BOK. First, to understand data security needs and regulatory requirements, to classify information confidentiality, and to audit data security. You will now complete a set of readings and videos related to these topics. As you work through these activities, consider the following questions. What are the three principles for access control? What is identification? What is authentication? What is authorization? What does data integrity mean in terms of security? What is a risk? What is a data security classification for data and information? What is the role of laws and regulations in terms of data security? What is the role of business requirements within data security? Why should a data security audit take place? Primary takeaways from this section include the following. 1. That data security ensures that the right people can access, use, and update data in the right way. That the integrity of the data is handled by restricting inappropriate access and update. That data security, privacy, and confidentiality requirements come from external laws and regulations and internal stakeholders. And last, that risks are examined in terms of potential and real threats and vulnerabilities to the data.
Our world is full of lots of information. From your music playlist to your mobile phone contents, from your saved computer games to the details on your Facebook profile, from the information stored by your school to the data stored by your doctor. There's a lot of information, and it all needs to be stored, categorized, searched, and sorted. The amount of data that we store is growing at a tremendous rate. In fact, every day we create 2.5 quintillion bytes of data. So much that 90% of the digital data in the world today was created in just the last 2 years. That's the equivalent of a 60-foot high wall of iPads stretching from Edinburgh to Oman in the Middle East. How do we manage this massive increase in the data we store? We depend on information systems to help us create, control, store, find, and access this information. So what is an information system? An information system is a set of computer-based tools for collecting, storing, and processing data in our world. Businesses and other organizations rely on information systems to carry out and manage their operations, interact with their customers and suppliers, and compete in the marketplace. For instance, corporations use information systems to reach their potential customers with targeted messages over the web, to process financial accounts, and to manage their workforce. Governments use information systems to provide services cost effectively to citizens, to manage the economy, and to gather taxes. Digital goods, such as electronic books and software, and online services, such as auctions and social networking, are all provided by and operated by some kind of information system. A typical information system will have somewhere to store the data. Often this is a database. There will be a program which helps you use the data, and the program will have a user interface where you, the user, issue commands and receive the results. Information systems play a role in every aspect of your life. In our constantly connected digital world, it is important that you understand how information systems and the data they collect impact on everything that you do.
All right, well, welcome to the world of QualisGuard. Now, with QualisGuard, we basically have some nice options available. You can check out their website, which is going to be qualis.com, and then from there they basically have some information regarding what they do. They have some free tools available that you can check out and so forth. Pretty neat stuff. You can again check out their website for additional things that you want to look at. Also on their training and support, you can go under their product training under online library. It is going to be in this case a web browser based scenario, and here they give you kind of introduction to the user face, the mapping, scanning, and so forth. So you guys can check that out at your own convenience there. Again, it's qualis.com. So what I'm going to do is demonstrate this, and we'll do a scan on it and see how it goes. So basically what they'll have here is their different options. We have our navigation menu here, which shows us our dashboard. Right now we really don't have anything set up because I haven't run a scan yet. We also have our tools board here, where they recommend that you go into the user accounts, create a user account for each user that will be doing the scan and so forth. Again, this would be unique to the users. That way, if you have different auditors and so forth doing the scanning and so on, that will allow you to do that. We have a search list that you can search through. You can do scanner appliances. You can do a ton of information here, activity logs, knowledge base, and so forth that you can utilize. But the main things that we're going to look at here real quick is to kind of just see how it looks. All right, so what we want to do here is go right to scan. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and click New, Scan. And then from there we're going to give it a title. Let's call it Mile 2. We have options profile. We can basically select the default, or we can go in and look at the 2008 SANS 20 options, payment card industry options, your PCI compliance, as well as your Qualis top 20 options that you can utilize as well. You can also import from library, password testing scan, firewall scan, authenticate scan. Let's do maybe some of this. Let's put that in there, make global, all good. So we're importing that in as part of our option profile here. So what we're going to do here is we're going to select IP address of 206.214.216.214. And let's go ahead and click launch. Alright, let's do a scan here. Scan successfully launched. Now as we look here, you can actually see we have it running on the status. Right, you can kind of check here on some of the things. Now we can actually view what's going on here as soon as it's completed, and the status right now again is still running. So what we're going to do is, as we saw here, we're going to look at the password testing scan. right? And we want to make sure that this is running. So what we're going to do is let this run here for a few minutes and see what it comes back with.